You think you're God's gift to this hospital? You're just another doctor.
Have you ever wondered why your favorite characters on Grey's Anatomy just disappeared like they were never even there? What really happened behind the scenes wasn't just drama, it was real life hitting hard. Big fights, sudden goodbyes, even secret breakdowns. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain to show you what really went down. So grab your snacks, hit that like button, and get ready. Because this story is wilder than the show itself. When off-screen drama kills careers, Grey's Anatomy was all about drama. But what went on behind the scenes made the show look gentle. You think that plane crashes and hospital breakups were messy? Listen to what happened after the cameras stopped rolling. The first person to play Dr. Burke was Isaiah Washington, who kept his cool. But when he wasn't acting, his anger ruined everything. While he was arguing with someone on set, he said something that no one could ignore. An offensive slur that not only caused tension, but also revealed the name of a castmate who hadn't even told anyone else. That event did more than just end friendships. The jobs were lost. They tried to fix it, but the damage was already done. He was fired by the network in the end, and his image never fully recovered.
It's hard to believe, but Isaiah Washington is returning to Grey's Anatomy following his controversial firing.
The show went on, but scars like that don't go away quickly. Then there was Katherine Heigl, who was a huge star at the time. She was feeling great after winning awards. But she did something brave when she criticized the show's writing and turned down an Emmy nod. That moment turned the business world against her. She was hard for producers to work with. Writers felt lied to. All of a sudden, doors began to shut. Her leaving wasn't sudden and loud. It was painful and slow. Scripts were changed. Scenes were cut out. She finally stopped being on the show. After many years, she said that the reaction almost broke her, and she needed therapy to deal with it all. She was once a fan favorite, but now in Hollywood, she was seen as a tale. Eric Dane, also known as McSteamy, looked like the cool, cocky guy that every show wanted. But that picture hid a fight that no one saw coming. An injury to the back led to harmful substances, which were then used too much. Giving up harmful substance was the only way out. He was clean when he got back, but something had changed. There was no shine left. The network had to cut costs, and Eric's pay was too high to keep him on. They let him go. He said years later that the heartthrob label never fit him. He felt stressed about the things that people liked about him. Behind the scenes was a man who didn't know who he was and was falling into sadness. The cute and smart Lexie Grey was Chyler Leigh. Her story was less loud, but just as sad. Away from the camera, she was raising kids, dealing with bipolar disease, and adjusting to life as a young actress under a lot of stress. She was mentally, physically, and emotionally breaking down, but she still went to work every day. She ran away by acting, but it wasn't enough to save her. Why did she quit the show? Not for money or fame, but to stay alive and be with her family. It was very sad when she died on the show. In real life, though, her escape was about staying alive. They weren't just players leaving the set. They were people who had reached their limits. People who smiled on TV but were really sad. Grey's Anatomy made stars, but it also broke some of them. The fame came quickly, but the bad press came even faster. And in this world, there's no turning back once the action goes off script. Because some stars blew up and disappeared, but others stayed behind, though it cost them something. Power changes hands, battles in silence, and so much stress that every day was like a war zone. That's exactly what we'll find out next. What happens when fame turns into a full-on power struggle, and when it gets harder to stay than to leave. How Grey's Anatomy changed the people inside it. When there is a struggle, some stars quit. Some people leave because it's too quiet. But those who stay, they are sometimes the ones holding the most weight. It's not always peaceful to stay. At times, it means getting through a storm every day. Patrick Dempsey was the perfect TV doctor. He was charming, cool, and easy to remember. But there was something much darker going on behind that part. It got harder for people to deal with him on set as the seasons went on. The stress was seen by the producers. People on the crew felt it. His mood could change the whole shoot for the day. He was strong, and people were afraid to stand up to him. But that power made people want to stay away. The stress got so bad that even the show's creator, Sandra Ramirez, was ready to quit if nothing changed. It did, in the end. He was taken off the list. His last scene shocked a lot of people. But for those behind the scenes, it wasn't sad. It was happy. The next one was Justin Chambers. He was there one day. Afterwards, gone. No farewell talk. No farewell for good. It was hard for people to understand. For those who knew, it made sense. It had been years since Justin had kept things together, but now the cracks were showing. Because of a sleep problem, he didn't get much rest. He couldn't slow down his mind. He walked around at night while everyone else slept. When you're that tired, you change. It takes away your happiness. He did everything he could for his part, but his body finally gave out.
Well, I mean, what's great about working with an actor for 13 seasons, you're very comfortable with them as a person. I've known Ellen for probably 25 years.
He didn't go missing to cause trouble. He just wanted to feel normal again. Then there's Ellen Pompeo. She was the show's main character. She stayed on for almost 20 years while everyone else left. Even though she stayed, she was still tired. Her plan never changed. Her part kept getting bigger. She worked hard to get fair pay, and now she is one of the best-paid TV actresses. In spite of her desire for freedom, that money kept her where she was. She cut down on her television time, became a producer, and started to try new things. But she herself said that sticking wasn't just because she loved the show. It was to keep what she built safe. It took her years of carrying Grey's weight before she finally let herself breathe. There was a mountain of stress behind all of these doors and close-by exits. The place of work wasn't quiet. An army base was dressed up as a hospital. There were rumors of mental burnout among the crew. Late changes were worked around by the writers. The actors tried to smile even though they were yelling to be heard. The toll, the kind that doesn't leave bruises but still breaks you, was talked about. Some even said they got PTSD from what they went through just to make the scenes. It wasn't about money or fame. It was about power, stress, and what happens when a TV show turns into a machine that never stops, when people don't know what to say, when being in the spotlight is more like being caught than being on stage. There was a price to pay for power in this world, and some people couldn't keep paying it. While some soldiers were still fighting long-term wars, others were able to leave with peace. Not a story, not a fight, just the quiet, thought-out choice to leave, keeping their heads held high and their stories whole. Those are the exits that people often miss, but they could be the most powerful of all. Let's talk about the people who made plans to leave and regained their power before the show did. Quiet goodbyes. Not all goodbyes are loud. Not every exit is a mess. Some people leave on their own, not because someone forces them to. These are the stories that don't get a lot of attention, but they're still important. She didn't storm off the set or leave without saying anything. She knew early on that she would have to stop playing Christina Yang. For 2 whole years, she got ready to leave. Not only emotionally, but also mentally and physically. It was therapy for her. She thought. Other people talked, and she didn't say anything. She didn't wait for something bad to happen. She left while things were still fine. Sandra sat down with Sandra Ramirez and helped plan the whole ending of her show. Not a death, not a deception. Just saying goodbye all the way around. Christina went to Zurich to run a heart center, which was a good move for a person who had spent years trying to be the best. It felt like one of the few doors that was full. There are no loose ends. No stories that aren't finished. Just be polite, on and off screen. Then Jesse Williams showed up. For 12 years, he played Dr. Jackson Avery. But Jesse wasn't just a figure. He was a real person who fought for justice in places other than the hospital. He didn't just walk out the door when it was time to leave. He helped make his leaving fit who he had become. Jackson didn't go away. He went to Boston to run the family foundation and promised to fix the healthcare system that so many people had problems with. Not only was that plot made up, but it also showed what Jesse believed. He didn't feel like the door shut, but rather like he was handing something off. There was growth, bravery, and a reason for it. Kalia Torres was played by Sara Ramirez, who had a different path. They were on the show one day. After that, they were gone. There's no big news, not a long build-up. It shocked even Shonda Rhimes, but there was a reason. Sara had given the part everything they had behind the scenes. When the 10th season was over, they were emotionally spent. It was important for them to take a break and recharge. It was easy for Callie to leave. She just went to New York with her daughter. That choice left a door open, and fans kept hoping she would come back one day. There was no drama at this goodbye, even if she doesn't. It was clear that it was about health. Sara did the right thing when she left. To keep the peace, and you have to let go sometimes. There's nothing wrong with these kinds of doors. They do not come with yelling or big words. In their own way, though, they're strong. They let you leave before things get bad. Even when you're ahead, it's okay to take a step back. Every one of these people chose to leave with honor. They chose to leave because they wanted to, not because they had to. When things go wrong, people often have to quit. These stories tell us that leaving early is sometimes the best thing to do. This wasn't a loss. They taught me things. There were also busy routes besides these ones. Some stars disappeared without a word. There are no goodbye scenes, no reasons given. I'm gone. Fans were left feeling lost, angry, and needing answers after reading their stories. It's never just the script when a character vanishes out of the blue. Behind the scenes, there's always something more going on. What then took place? That's where the shock turns the quiet into sound. Take a look at the stars who left the show without a trace, and find out why their departures were so unexpectedly sad. When fan favorites vanish without a trace, there are some doors that close off. Some people come with style. Some, on the other hand, hit you like a punch in the chest and make you stare at the screen, not sure what just happened. When someone says goodbye, it feels more like a ghost story. Not because it's scary, but because it leaves you with questions. One of the first 5 was Alex Karev. He was there from the start. Messy and rough around the edges, but faithful. Fans saw him change from a cocky intern to a leader they could trust. When other people left, he became the show's heart. Then he was gone, just like that. It didn't build up slowly. There was no dramatic ending. In the middle of a major plot point one day, he was helping to run a hospital and helping his wife get better from her mental illness. Afterwards, gone. He disappeared into the background as if he had never been there. For a few episodes, the show made up reasons why he wasn't there. He was visiting his mom, taking up space, or on business. But people weren't buying it. Something was not right. Then the truth came out, but not the way fans thought it would. No exciting scene, no goodbye hug, just writing, voiceovers, reading out loud from Kansas, words on a page. Alex had gotten back in touch with Izzy, his ex-wife, whom he hadn't talked to in years. She used their frozen eggs from her cancer treatment to raise his children behind his back. He left everyone else behind, and packed up to be with her. Not only were people shocked, they were angry. Joe had worked hard to get Alex to trust him. After Christina left, Meredith turned to him for help. He was a part of all of them. All of that was erased in one show. Don't say goodbye to Joe. There was no last moment with Meredith. No goodbye at the hospital. It was just a quick change that made everything wrong. The response was right away. Social media went crazy. Fans thought that both Alex and the writers had let them down. This was not meant to be the end of a 16-season journey. People had watched through plane crashes, gunfights, and up and down emotions. They were ready for a real goodbye. But there was silence instead. There was a real reason for that silence. The actor who played Alex, Justin Chambers, had been having a hard time for a long time. There were reports of mental health problems, stress, and burnout. He quietly left, without any press or a last public showing. They could have killed off his character off-screen, pretended he was still alive, or made a goodbye that didn't ruin everything he worked on. They chose to be kind. Fans weren't sure it worked, though. The truth is that some characters don't get the ending they deserve. Life gets in the way sometimes. Schedules don't work together. Mental health comes first. It's up to networks to write their way around absence. But it hit Alex differently. It seemed too big to ignore. The mental weight of his trip was taken off him. And in a show about strong bonds between people, that really hit home. The show used to be proud of giving each character an important story arc, but this ending broke that promise. The relationship was broken. Fans started to wonder, if Alex could be erased so quickly, what did that mean for everyone else? Could a few words erase years of character growth? Would writing be a good way to rewrite love stories? That wasn't all Grey's did, though. It kept moving forward, in fact. And finally, we'll talk about what all of these exits really meant, not just for the show, but also for the people who made it, quit, and still kept it going. Even with all the chaos, one thing stayed the same. Grey's Anatomy changed more than just TV. Life was changed forever. Grey's Anatomy didn't just change TV, it changed lives. Grey's Anatomy changed more than just the rules of TV, it changed the people who watched it. No one left the show the same. The stars, the crew, and the writers. It looked like another scene in the hospital, but it was really a pressure cooker. Workdays of 15 hours. Every show has emotional breakdowns built into it. A lot of death scenes that made the players cry, scream, and pass out, and they had to do it all over again the next day. It wasn't a lie. Not really. You could tell the tears, fear, and tiredness came straight from real life. Because after years of living in a show like this, the lines between real life and fiction start to get fuzzy. Then there was Shonda Rhimes. Who came up with the idea? She made something very big. A world that people loved. But being smart costs money. Everything was needed in her writing. Perfectionism, ardor, and stress. She made magic happen, but sometimes it drained the people who made it possible. The actors kept switching roles. Some people left with scars, and some with grace. Some people didn't leave fast enough. People who stayed took on the weight of the past, remembering people who used to be there, and how much it cost to keep going. And yet, through all of it, the show never slowed down. New faces replaced old ones. New drama filled the silence. But there was always a real person behind every sad scene. A person trying to deal with the demands of a part that never really finished, even when the cameras stopped rolling. This was about more than just TV. It was about sticking it out. That's what it costs to be successful, when the light is on for too long. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. And hey, click the next video popping up on your screen. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.